happy, be healthy, be your best.
So there are times of the year that are very stressful for some people. A lot of times it's the holiday season. And then sometimes for others, it's during the summer where they are trying to plan a vacation, go as a family. Then there's just regular life in general. Now, in mainstream medicine, there is a phrase that is not really totally recognized, and that's adrenal fatigue. It's considered a myth in mainstream medicine because the viewpoint is that, well, the adrenals actually work more under stress. So why would you say there's adrenal fatigue? Well, there's a whole different explanation there. Yes, the adrenals work more when there's a lot of stress, but in the background, they can be where they are needing more assistance, more support, more of a lot of things that can help them, where this in turn helps them to be able to function better, which then helps people to deal with all the things that their adrenals help them with. The adrenals are massively important to the body, and they work very closely with the pituitary gland and the hypothalamus. This whole connection is what keeps you going on a daily basis. So whether the term adrenal fatigue is recognized or not, the fact is that when you're under a lot of stress, those adrenals need some support. Adrenals can go through trace minerals like a wildfire. So a lot of times having a good trace mineral support is something that automatically helps the adrenals. If you want to understand adrenal fatigue, then what you have to think about is that there are daily stressors that contribute to it. So high pressure work environments, family and relationship challenges, financial concerns can be a big thing that makes it where the adrenals are having to work extra hard. Sleep disruptions. Having good sleep is really, really important for the adrenals. So when there's sleep disruptions, there's a problem. Social media can bring a lot of stress on the adrenals, world events, and a lot of times just plain information overload can be a problem. So at the end of the day, sometimes people just feel like they're done. They have 10 priorities, and somebody says to them, well, prioritize. And they're like, okay, I have 10 things that are all priority, and they're all of equal priority. How do I cope with this? What do I do? And oftentimes they feel like they're obligated to drop some of those priorities. And then what happens is they have to circle back to them. And then when they circle back to them, it feels like there's even more stress, more that they have to pick up and do, which then chicken and egg puts more stress on their adrenals again to have to cope. Sleep, like we mentioned, not having a good night's sleep, that in itself just puts the body into a state that makes it hard for the adrenals to function in a way where people have a peaceful, calm, productive life going on. Lack of sleep can just have it be where that whole pituitary hypothalamus adrenal axis just gets out of balance, and that makes it hard to function and feel a sense of just gratitude and peace and centeredness throughout the day. Some of the things that can be affecting somebody emotionally that can do this are just hormones in general, just breakdown of situations in the world, being tired, feeling like they're having a family crisis, fear, hurt, seeing a family member suffer, just feeling pessimism all of a sudden because of an overload in life. All of these things are something where it can cause some depression and anxiety that has a direct effect on the adrenals. So if you're thinking to yourself, I feel a little off, and maybe I am just having some adrenal problems because of all the stress or the time of the year, look for these particular signs. If your adrenals are under stress, you may notice fatigue that doesn't go away even when you do get rest. You may feel tired, but at the same time, just feel wired. Like you know that you're exhausted, but you're wired. Okay. You may have difficulty falling or staying asleep. You may have increased salt cravings. The adrenals have a lot to do with aldosterone, the water salt balance in the body. And when the adrenals get under a lot of stress, sometimes there's the craving for a lot more salt. Or it could be just a lot more craving for sugar. This can be another sign that things are starting to get out of balance with the adrenals. Dizziness when standing up has a lot to do with adrenal function and how blood pressure is regulated in the body. Mood changes, anxiety, irritability that's not normal, that just seems to be, once again, with that wired, just shorter temper, shorter fuse, just not really feeling like yourself, can be an indication of adrenals needing support. The need to figure out with the body how to get a good night's sleep. Having it be one of the things that can help is making sure that the diet, if you're going through a really stressful period, being careful, because the tendency is under a lot of stress sometimes is to just grab fast and quick. And a lot of times that fast and quick is processed, has a lot of sugar, has a lot of seed oils that are highly detrimental to the body. So if you recognize that you're under a lot of stress because of the season or because of family situations, tightening down on your diet and making sure that you're getting enough quality protein, enough high quality fruits and vegetables, and staying away from the white stuff, the sugar, the flour, the things that, while they bring a temporary somewhat relief when you have them, they actually in the long term are not good for the situation with the adrenals. And then hydration is imperative. You have to have enough water when you're under stress. Remember, the adrenals handle the water salt balance in the body. If you don't have enough hydration, you don't have nutrients going to the cell properly, and you don't have waste exiting the body. Well, chicken and egg, what does that do then? It puts more stress on the adrenals to handle what's going on in the body. And then exercise. Exercise is something that can assist your adrenals. Why? When you go out for a quiet walk, and I'm going to emphasize quiet, this isn't something where you're necessarily talking nonstop with somebody or listening to something through a headset. If you can take a 10-minute to 30-minute walk a day in quietness, you are going to help your adrenals as well as your body function. One of the things that you can do when you go for a walk is look for 5 things that you see, 4 things that you hear, 3 things that you feel, 2 things that you smell, and 1 thing that you possibly taste. That grounds you to the moment and gets it where you are assisting your adrenals to calm down and just be enjoying the moment. Try to get that exercise in every day, even if it's just a walk, in order to assist the adrenals, which then makes it where you want to drink more water. It also makes it where you have a better night's sleep. It all compounds and starts helping the adrenals. At our office, we do an inner voice scan that shows us what emotions are bothering the adrenals. We do scans that show us 1s and 9s in a scan of the adrenals, so we know exactly which parts need assistance. We have a list of emotions that comes up in the scan that is specialized to the person to show us where they're struggling and where they may need some encouragement. And then we're able to look at the endocrine system as a whole and see if the adrenals themselves are being highlighted as a source of an issue. So supplements can help. You can make sure that you're taking good quality minerals. You can make sure that you are supporting your body with enough vitamin D. You can make sure that you are taking a good multivitamin to put the nutrients in your body that your body is needing. There are a lot of different things that are natural supplements for energy that can help if you're feeling like you're lacking in energy. I would recommend staying away from too much caffeine, too much alcohol, and too much of the high energy drinks. These are something that can just make it where there's a temporary relief, but the adrenals suffer in the long term. Go for water whenever you need to go. Good, clean water when you need to go for something to drink, and possibly a mineral source that you can put as drops in the water. We have an excellent company that we recommend to all of our people, and that's LMNT. They have a great, great product that makes sure that you have enough sodium, magnesium, and potassium in your water to support those adrenals. So there's some help for the adrenals. You want your life to be balanced. You want it to feel peace. You want to live in the moment. And a lot of that depends on having good, healthy, supported adrenals.